How do you double a business's revenue without spending on marketing?
The lead generation is a massive challenge.
When's the last time you called those 58 people?
I never called anyone.
I thought you wanted to make an impact.
I do.
Do you not like people?
I do like people, yeah.
Today I'm joined by an amazing lady, Angie Lloyd-Jones.
I literally had a vet say to me, I don't want you here.
I think that the only potential issue that we have is that we jump around a little bit. So
haven't
what
I
we need
thought
to
of
do,
this?
but yes, okay, it's okay, don't you worry. So tell us a little bit about you to start off with, Angie.
Okay, so I'm a radiographer by background, Adam. My skill set is ultrasound. So I'm used to teaching multidisciplinary medical doctors like nurses, midwives, A&E consultants, etc., how to do ultrasound safely, consistently, and confidently. Probably about 5 years ago, I had a bit of a midlife crisis and I ended up in the veterinary world. This company was set up then, actually, just so that I could perform some clinical work. Now, you wouldn't realise this probably, but when you take your dog to the vet, you would assume that your local vet knows exactly what they're doing with their ultrasound equipment. But what in actual fact is happening is they're having a go because they've either not got the confidence to be able to perform those comprehensive scans, they've never had any formal training, or maybe perhaps they're just a little bit too frightened of that machine and all those controls, and they don't know how to utilize it properly. So it's better then to get somebody in and outsource this and lose revenue to their business than it is for them to keep that valuable resource inside the business and upskill and learn and have that contingency. Now, obviously, the benefits to upskilling in ultrasound and learning to do this well is that not only are you going to have better diagnostic outcomes for your patients, you're going to have reduced waiting times for those patients. And then, of course, that valuable revenue, if you're good at it, you can then start commanding more money for those surveys. Because when I talk to primary care vets, a lot of them say, well, I only charge £30 because I don't really know what I'm doing. Or some say, I have to charge this because the company makes me charge this, but I don't feel ethical and comfortable charging it. So there's this dilemma going on.
Well, you do a really good job, first of all, at describing the problem, because anyone that's listening or watching at this stage, you might know nothing about ultrasound, nothing about vets, but actually go, okay, there's a problem there, right? You've come from the medical world and then veterinary world. You've gone and started a business. What are some of the struggles, challenges? Have you had some bad days, some moments where it's been tough?
I have most definitely had some struggles and some bad days. I was first met with a lot of resistance from some of the vets, and I've met some fantastic vets, and I've got a lot of support from some amazing vets as well in what I'm doing. On day one, I literally had a vet say to me, I don't want you here. I haven't got the time nor the inclination to be training a medical sonographer to do this job in the veterinary world. Go back to where you've come from. And that was day one of an employed job where I was like, what do I do in this situation? So there was two choices, go or stay. I stayed and I thought, right, I'll just learn it myself if I have to. And I did, I taught myself. I realised there were no guidelines whatsoever. So I wrote the first set of guidelines for veterinary ultrasound practice. It was published by the British Medical Ultrasound Society and endorsed by the European College of Veterinary Diagnostic Imagers. So,
does that give you some strong credibility on the subject?
Yes, it does. And it's been closely modelled on how we keep ultrasound operators safe in the human world.
Throughout this audit, what we want to do, Angie, is we want to understand where are you now, where do you want to be, and what are the things that are stopping you from being able to get to where you want to be. So let's start off with where are you now?
Well, where I am now is that finally, Adam, thanks to you and the training I've had so far, I've actually confronted some of my fears. So I took a look at our figures, which I've literally been too frightened to do because I know we're not earning profit. I know we're not got loads of money in the bank. I worry about it. I lie there in bed at night not knowing how I'm going to pay the bills. But unless I get to grips with this and I start understanding my numbers and my figures, then I'm not going to be able to proceed with this business. It's not going to be viable.
When you sat there and you said to yourself, if I don't nail this and I don't understand it, I'm not going to be able to do this business. This business is not going to happen. How did that make you feel?
I actually was quite excited by it, if that sounds really weird. A bit weird. Because I thought, this is a challenge. I made myself come up to you on the last inner circle and volunteer to come on this clinical audit of my business because I knew it would make me confront my fears, okay? So I had to get to grips with it. But what I have realised is that in looking at that, and you think, crikey, look at all that discrepancy here, 40 odd grand, I can actually account for that now. So I am actually feeling in a comfortable position. Okay. I know where that's gone. It's gone on investing in myself and the business. And I've got a strategy now. I didn't have a battle plan. You wouldn't go to war without a battle plan. And thanks to, the team at BBE, I've now got real clarity on where I am, where I need to go, how I'm going to get there, how I'm going to scale up, what product I'm going to use, what offer. I'm confronting my fears over the tech. So I am aware that there's a lot of work still to go, but I know where I'm going. Good. Whereas before, when I met you, I was just floundering. What do you call it? Paying the dumb tax. That's what I was doing. I was definitely paying the dumb tax and didn't know I was doing it.
Tell me about your roles in the business. You've got you and your business partner. So, what do you both do?
Well, I'm mostly the driving force. She has retired and I brought her out of retirement kicking and screaming because she realised that what I'm doing, it needs to happen.
So now when we look at the clients, you've got 11 corporate clients that you've gone and signed.
So we've had 11 events, actually.
Okay.
So probably
11 events.
Yeah, there may only be about 3 or 4 corporates. There's big 6 in the veterinary world. Probably got about 4 of those that we've been working with regularly. But we've had 11 events where we've generated revenue from them. And then I looked through all our individual organic sales that we've had through online or through social media or word of mouth. And those are the other non-corporate events.
Yeah, by the way, I also think that's awesome. If you're saying there's a big 6 in the veterinary world and you've got 4 of them and you're working with those 4 people, you've done really, really well. Mm-hmm.
So where I want to be really is I want to be earning sort of this kind of a figure as a minimum in this time next year. And I'd like to be doubling that in the ideal world. But, let's see where we go.
Okay, so where you want to be is a revenue target of £250,000. At least in the next 12 months. Okay. And you want to get to the point where you and your business partner have a salary coming in for the business as well. So now tell me what you've perceived so far to be the challenges to making that happen.
The lead generation is a massive challenge. And so are the videos that gets the leads to come in and buy. Okay. I've got a CRM and somebody helping me in the Philippines.
So when we look at the challenges, you're saying leads are a challenge and then you're sort of defining videos as also a challenge
because
for you.
I've never done it before. I messed around with some Facebook ads thinking I knew what I was doing. I've been burnt as well with some marketing, going to external parties and spent a lot of money that got me nowhere.
I think that we need to go deeper here.
Yep.
Because I think the definition of lead generation, if you've not got enough leads, in order for us to create sales, we need more people to speak to. Yep. So I can get on board with that. Currently got the 2 of you, and you've got you more in marketing, sales, driving the business, and then you've got your partner who's more on the delivery side of it. Is that correct?
I think she's probably on the closing of the deals and, coming in on all the meetings initially and helping us get across our message. I'm probably the creative one on the structure of the training, how that's formatted, as well as the idea of where the business is going and that strategy.
We've got £113,000 in sales. Now, what that tells me is there is something there that people want to buy, that people have bought consistently over the course of the year, because, that's not far off £10,000 a month in sales. So something's going on there, something's happening there where we've got people consistently saying yes. I think that you as a character, are amazing in terms of your communication. You understand how to define the problem. I think that the only potential issue that we have is that we jump around a little bit. What I really need to know is where has that £113,000 come from if we were to break it down?
It has come from face-to-face events, 2-day workshops, and it's come from an online mentorship and training program called the Sonographer on Your Shoulder, or SOIS for short.
So we've got a 2-day workshop and we've got SOIS, which is the Sonographer Over Your Shoulder program, right? So we've got 2 programs there. Break down the income between those 2 programs.
Per client, I get a better sale with Sonographer on Your Shoulders, 2,700.
Yeah. For
a workshop, I'm probably getting 1,000.
Okay, so we've got £1,000 for a workshop, 2,700 for the sonographer over your shoulder. Yeah. Okay. When you sell that, presumably it's you that has to execute that.
The sonographer on your shoulder or the workshop?
Both.
Right. So I have a team of some other mentors that I bring in. I subcontract them to come and help teach.
Okay, good.
The aim is to get them upskilled. I've got a team in the UK and a team in America.
Where's the income come from? You mentioned UK, you mentioned America. Obviously, £100,000 is quite a small amount of revenue to be in multiple different countries. So where is the majority of that income come from?
The UK.
Okay,
I'd
so
say.
that's that UK based
Mostly,
income.
because that's where I've started, and just of late, the last few months, the USA.
So on the 2-day training, how many places would you be able to?
16, generally round about £2,400 per person.
So you can run a training for 16 people. You can do that over 2 days.
Yep.
And how much does it cost per person to go on that training?
About £1,000.
2 days, 16 vets, 16 grand. And how many vets are there? What's the size of the market, roughly, that we can go and talk to about this?
Probably in primary care, about 60,000 vets.
If I'm a sonographer and I take a 2-day training, I'm a vet, and I take that 2-day training with you, what do I get out of it at the end of it? What am I able to do that I wasn't able to do? And how does that save me time and money?
You will learn to go from not being confident to drive your ultrasound machine. And the analogy I use is a car. If you are on your 17th birthday and you're given a car and you say, sit in that car, you can now go around the M25. You need somebody to teach you. So we'll teach them the ultrasound machine so that they understand what it does to the image. We'll teach them a step-by-step approach to have a more comprehensive, holistic view of that patient so that they can then perform a full survey of that abdomen. So if you're contracting that in, then it can go up to about £600 for a full abdominal survey.
Average vet, what are they
Your
charging?
average vet, I'd say 200, 250.
Okay, so basically it can be a £200 add-on to every single pet that comes into the surgery.
Definitely. Yep.
Right, so actually there's a money-making opportunity
absolutely.
for a vet. Okay, great. So this is what we've got to establish,
But a lot
right?
of the vets on the ground floor don't care about that because they don't hold the purse strings. So
Yeah,
this is
but
why
you're not, they attend the training, but you
Yeah.
don't sell the training to them, do
Absolutely,
you? The
absolutely.
person you do sell the training to
Absolutely.
does care about
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
All right, so don't worry too much. They're the person that you're going to be working with, but the person you're going to be selling to very much cares about the monetization opportunity. Important to understand that. Okay, great. We've done the 2-day training, and we're saying that a large portion of our revenue has come from this 2-day training. How many people have been through that?
When I've done it through a corporate,
Yeah.
which has obviously not been as productive financially, there's been 81 in the year and there's been 58 in this one.
Okay, explain a corporate.
They've brokered a deal to have a package for a group of people, which is less than I would charge the individual.
Where's the repeat business on this? Where's the throughput of new vets? Where do people come from? Because you're saying that your challenge is lead generation and your challenge is creating videos, right? Now, we've already done £10,000 a month's worth of revenue over the course of the year. You've proven you've done a good job with these people. You're a very likable person. People are going to like you, right? So where are they all gone? Like, where's the repeat business?
What I'd like to do is to start adding more products to it so that we can teach them on those 2 days. That was my intention. I'm trying to build the community as well so that we keep them in the community. We keep them learning so that they don't drop off the wayside. But I haven't come up with an answer as yet to how I keep them once they've gone for that product.
Who booked you? Are these 58 individuals booked you? Is that right?
Yeah.
When's the last time you called those 58 people?
I never called anyone.
Okay, why not?
I don't.
Do you not like people?
I do like people, yeah. I keep thinking that an email, people buy from people.
When's the last time you visited those 58 people then?
Visited them. They do tend to sort of stay in touch on a WhatsApp group, but they're not regularly. So no,
right.
I've let them go
So there's
cold.
a huge disconnect then.
Absolutely.
That you've gone out, you've earned loads of clients, and then you just let them go. Do those 58 people have other people they work with in the industry?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
They often refer people on to me through word of mouth.
Okay, great. What I'm going to do now is we're going to start to build out the solutions, and we're going to build those solutions out so we can really get you rocking. I think that there's some simple wins here. And I think that you're very much in danger of doing what a lot of people do when it comes to building a business. What happens a lot when people are building a business and they come out and they're starting to build and grow that business, it can be very common for people to think that social media is the answer, that funnels are the answer, or CRM are the answer, or videos are the answer. And there's all these different things because it's almost the modern way of thinking. It's the popular way of thinking. But actually, the easiest way to get business, bar none, the easiest way is to do more business with the people you've already done business with. So you never want to forget that those people that you sold something to once are more than likely to want to do business with you again. Now, when you look at the categories of people, you've got people that are very cold. That's people that don't know you. They've not worked with you. They've not spent time with you. You've got people that are warm. They know you. They might have spent time with you. Then you've got people that are hot. People that are hot are somebody who's experienced your service and really likes you. So the first people you always want to speak to are the hot people, because that is what we call the low-hanging fruit. We've since identified that, you feel that there's a target market of 60,000 vets out there that you can help and you can make a difference to. We've also identified that we can actually help vets to have a £200 product or service that they can offer. From the business side of it, if you look at how long it takes to actually do the service that you're talking about, it's a very short period of time. It potentially, to a vet surgery, could be worth anywhere from £200,000 to £300,000 a year. In terms of revenue that they might be missing out on. And this is for everyone that's listening and watching. It's really important to understand that when you craft a message that you are going to take to market, one, which Angie's done, is she's articulated the problem very, very well, but she's done it from an impact situation. So you've done it based on impact to people, which I totally get, because you really care about the animals and you care about it being done properly, which is, amazing. And I have no doubt that people running veterinary surgeries also care. Absolutely. But what they will care about as well is the growth of their business. And if they can add £200,000 to £300,000 a year through your training, then this is an incredible option for them, and it makes it a no-brainer. So you also want to communicate. Always remember, everybody's favourite radio station is WIFM. What's in it for me? So they need to know what's in it for them, and what's in it for them in this scenario is that they can also earn more money as well as doing the job properly. So we've established these cool things. What we now need to do is we need to say, how are we going to go and hit your goals and make things happen? You've identified your challenges with lead gen and videos. I think you've got a great character, you're bubbly, you come across well. I don't think we have too much of a problem with that. We've got some frameworks we can use. I think the lead gen is incredibly important. So I think that you getting the right leads into the business is super important. I want to take the 58 people that you've sold to and I want to go back to them. So what we need to do is we need to come up for a reason as to why we're going to contact those 58 people and go and have a conversation with them. You mentioned you've got deals with the big four in the veterinary world. Okay. My second move for lead generation is I want to go and have a conversation with those big four, and I want to knock the door down on getting back in that door so I can go and have the conversations with those four, because one deal from them could be absolutely massive, could be absolutely humongous. So these are the first two things I explore with you before we dive deeper into some lead generation strategies. So tell me, why have you not spoken to these 58? What has happened? Just be candid, be honest, it's okay.
I think it's because I don't feel that I've got the next product for them. So most of these are clinicians or vet nurses on the ground floor. I don't have a product to do that as yet.
So they're all on the ground floor, and that would be your challenge, right? But bear in mind, all 58 of those people, they're in the industry. They know people in the industry. Yeah. They're using the machine every day. Yeah. Your name is linked to that machine. Yeah. Your training is linked to that machine. That's true. Right? And every time they go and use that on a daily basis, you are linked to it. They might even think of you, right? Yeah. So we've got to go and have those conversations with those 58 people. So my first thing that I would be doing, I want you to tell them, these 58 people, that we have a review meeting on your training. You had training with us last year. Okay. We want to come in and we want to review the training. Okay. We want to review what you've done since you had the training and attended the training. which means what you've just done is there's low resistance because they don't know. They just like, okay, they're going to come in. It's a part of the training. They're helping us. You're going to go and you review, and you go in there and you do a number of things. So on the review part, you go and speak to them and you say, hey, we did this training, and you can almost do a survey. Like, how many have you been doing? How's it been going? What have you been finding? How much more you're using? How much more you're using the machine? How's this going? How's that going? And you do a deep dive with them. And then you can be like, okay, who else in the business now needs to go on this training? Who else do you know in the veterinary world that could benefit from this training? Do you need more training?
If so, what?
Well, no, some of them are like, you know what, I did your training, Angie, I loved it. I used the machine for 2 weeks and I stopped using it. Oh, why did you do that? Because I didn't feel confident. Oh, so you need some more training. So very simple stuff.
Gosh,
so what we need to do... But yes, it's okay. Don't you worry, right? If you're already dealing with people and you're already looking after people and they've been through your process, reaching back out to them and doing it in a non-salesy, added value way is going to get them to want to do business with you again, and it puts you in front of them again. Now, you'll see that what I've just said to Angie is combining getting in front of people, but then having the necessary questions to journey them to a future purchase again. Now, the effort, although it's high effort, because we've got 58 people that we've got to see, it's high reward. Angie, if you just go and do those 58 and you took those 58 meetings, I would be willing to bet you any money 10% of that leads to new deals, right? Minimum, which means you get 6 deals straight away, right? But the reality is, if you do it well, 30% of that could lead to new deals, right? Which means that you get like 24 new bits of business straight away into the business.
$2,000 a go.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So that's 48K. But then I want to address your product range anyway, because I don't like this $2,000 a go. I want to do something a little bit different, which we're going to come to in a minute. Your first action step is to set up a review meeting process with your clients. And now, when you sell the training, you want to explain to them that that is a part of the training. We come back and we review where you're at in 6 months.
Which is the kind of philosophy we've got, this ongoing support. They can contact us at any point. They can.
No. We want to change that, right?
Yep. Okay.
Because we need a different part. Yes, we do. We need a different part of your offer, which brings me to your number 3, which is you need continuity in your offer. And you've kind of got this in your SOIS program, but your SOIS is 2,700 and your other training is 2,000. No difference. I'd rather you actually sold a support package, 497 a month, because then they're going to pay to have your support anytime they need anything with the machine. They can call you, and you might say 497 is not the right price point. 297 might be the right price point.
We've actually had something like that on the website for £25 a month. And nobody's taken it up. Nobody.
Yeah. Well, first of all, take that off the website. Because £25 per month is ridiculous.
Yep.
You talked about freelancers in the Philippines. You couldn't talk to them every day for that. So you're a specialised medical vet and you don't be selling your services for £25 a month. I can't even take my cat in for, to get a teeth clean without dropping 500 quid.
No,
right?
absolutely.
So, talking about 297 and 497, this is nothing to the vet business, right?
So are we talking here the vet owners? Because these are all ground floor people.
But in order to get to the ground floor people, you had to sell that to someone.
Yeah, it was them directly, though, I sold to. So these people have a budget per year.
Yeah.
So if they've spent this in the last year, then I think they'd be maybe reluctant to spend that kind of money per month.
Do you know why they'd be really reluctant to spend that type of money? Because you've never offered it to them.
Probably. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Right. Because you're making a decision for them about what's cheap, what's not cheap, what they need and what they don't need.
I think they would do that per year. They'd definitely do that for the year, but I don't think they would have the budget.
I bet they'd do that for the year. Do you know what? I might just give you that for the year just to hang out and chat. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. You can't undersell yourself at this amount.
No, I can't.
Are you an expert at ultrasound?
I am an expert, but I don't know how much of their day-to-day work is impacted by ultrasound. So whether they would justify that kind of cost per month.
We've already established this. How do we establish it?
Pretty
£200 to £300 per one.
Yeah.
So what you can do is you can actually say part of the strategy will be you do 2 of these a month, you get your money back.
Yeah.
So, you know, you don't have any argument apart from your belief. Yeah. And I know I'm just being candid with you because this happens to business owners all the time.
Yeah.
They want to make decisions for clients. You know, these veterinary, they're earning money. They've got a good business. You've got a good product. You help their business make more money. You should be paid proportionately. If you want to give it away, that's fine. Make your support $297 a month if you want. I don't mind. If you hate money and you want less of it.
I don't hate money. I don't hate money. But what I think is that you could say to the practice owners that package is available, then it doesn't come out of their CPD budget of the year.
It's how you sell it, Angie.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is the lesson.
We just got to sell.
I'm really glad, and I want all the resistance you can give me. And the reason I want you to do that is because there's people watching.
Break it down. Yeah.
No, but there's people watching, and they're like this as well. And
like, they will be.
You know, and that's what I want, right? If you were to sit down with them after their training, and you were to say to them, "Look, did you enjoy your training? Loved my training. Thought it was brilliant. Can you see yourself using the ultrasound properly in the future? Yes, I can see it. Are you going to make more effort with it? Yes, I'm going to make more effort with it." And then you were to say, look, really pleased that you've loved the training, really excited to hear what's going to happen next and how you're going to use it. What we've experienced in our experience working with vets and vet surgeries is they come and do the training, they get super excited, they really love what we do, and then they start using it for the next month, and then it wears off, and then they stop using it.
That's exactly what's happening. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because you're not selling them any continuity training.
No.
So they've got no accountability. They've got no reason to keep using it.
No.
I thought you wanted to make an impact.
I do. And do you know what? That's actually going to make a massive difference to these guys here, because that's my blog. That's what they're saying, is that, so that's where the issue is.
Yeah, because you're not solving the problem. You're going in, patching the problem.
The immediate problem.
Yeah, so you've got to solve the problem. So if you were to say that, people do it, they do it for a couple of months, and they drop off. What I want you to do is, I don't want you to do it for a couple of months, I want you to drop off. I want to have you come back and do the 297. So this is the training that we've done. And then you can meet up with us on a weekly basis or bi-weekly basis. You can WhatsApp us when you want. You can send us photos. You can ask us questions. You can get our help. And then you've got us there as a support package to use this machine. What we have found with people that do this is that they sell more ultrasounds, they save more lives, they make more impact. That's why I want you to do it.
I love that.
Right? Had you done this with the 58, you know, even if only 20 of them would be taking it, you'd have $6,000 a month coming in.
Do you know what? There's more than 58, because there's the year before, and the year before that I could approach as well.
All right, let's just imagine double that. You'd have $12,000 a month coming in. You would have just done more than your entire revenue in continuity money.
Yeah.
How you change is how you succeed. So this is where we need to grab hold of this now. This needs to be a very important part of your process to be able to support the vets and help them with a continuity offer. So your first step, go talk to the 58, plus the year before, plus the year before. Go and organise reviews. Don't worry about videos, right? Worry about these people that have already bought off you. And also, if you're going to resell them the training, right, you're saying it's £1,000 per day per vet, did you?
It works out round about that,
Yeah, okay. Right, so you can go and, like 58 plus the 50 from the year before, 50 from the year before, you've got 150 people to go and talk to. This in itself, you could go and resell them the exact same training you did before, or they're going to say to you, look, really, Angie, we did use it for a bit, we got used to it, we didn't really know what it was doing, we had this vet leave, we had this one come in. What are you then going to do?
Upsell them, try and get them to buy more.
Yeah, and what are you going to sell them?
The same thing again.
So, and then what are you going to sell them?
The continuity package.
Yes, we're getting it, right? We're getting it, right? Then you're going to sell them that continuity package, right?
Yep.
Which is the way forward. Then you've got to go back to the big four, okay? Yep. Get your review meetings in with them, which will be a slower process.
Yeah.
But you can just sort of say to them, hey, look, we've got this training available. we've got this continuity offer available. You know, it might be really great for them to be able to put in. And then you might just want to cap that continuity offer, because Pets at Home buy your continuity offer at £297 a month and you get 10,000 people ring you every week. You've got a big problem, right? So you tell them it's per store, right? Whoever, right? Because then if you've got 10,000 stores coming in, that would be pretty happy days, wouldn't it, right?
It would be, actually.
Yeah, so that's the way you want to look at it. So your 3 steps: 1, review; 2, speak to the big 4, go with your continuity offer per store; 3, make sure you start putting your continuity offer in place, right, so you can get that. And then 4 is now you're going to get some income. You get some money coming in over here. You get some money coming in over here. You get some money coming in over here. What you're now able to do is you're now able to put a lead generation strategy in place, okay? Now, the lead generation strategy that I would put in place for this business, I would be using LinkedIn to go and find all of the vets, all right, in the brackets that you're looking for, using Sales Navigator. I would be looking for the practice owners first. That would be my first port of call. And what we can do is we can go and get an entire database out of LinkedIn and get their data with Apollo.io, and then we can literally go and put a process in place. And then what I would be doing is, you talked about your Philippines people. I would be putting them on cold email. I'd be putting them on LinkedIn messages, and I'll be getting them to prospect for new calls for you to get booked in, so you can go and you can book in your meetings. And those 4 moves together will be what takes this business very quickly from your 100,000 to your 250,000, and we barely added any costs in. And by barely adding any costs in, you've got a little bit of costs, tiny bit of costs on Sales Nav, tiny bit of cost on data. Yeah, you already got that. Tiny bit of cost on data, tiny bit of cost on Philippine outsourced prospecting.
So not a single advert gone out, really.
No. Time, not money, right? And now that's going to be what turns the tide of taking your business from losing money to making money in a very short period of time. Let's do those 4 steps, take those actions, and not get distracted. And if you do that and you don't get distracted and you follow those steps, you go and speak to those 58 review meetings, plus the other review meetings you've got. To be honest, when you do step 1, you're probably not even going to need to do step 4. Right?
Wow.
How do you feel about that, Angie?
Fantastic.
Is there anything that would stop you doing what we discussed?
No, I might need to get somebody to build a replica of me so that we can crack on and do it in half the time. But definitely. Yeah. Definitely. He's given me...
Well, to get to the 250k, you can do this.
Yeah.
But to get to the £1 million, that's when we're going to build the team.
Yeah.
Well done.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you so much, Adam. Thank you. Thank you.